Hey everyone, I'm back. We just finished the Australian Nationals. I came fourth. Really excited about that. Shout out to everyone in top eight, especially Benny and David, my last couple opponents. Had some real close games. Landed up losing to Benny with about 5k combo power left, but that's all said and done. And I guess I'm just going to show you guys my Icarus deck profile that I ended up coming fourth with. Just going to quickly big shout out to Giancarlo. He's been helping me and talking me through the deck for like the last month and a half, ever since like all the reveals and the ban list and everything like that came out. He's really been there helping me out with the deck and whatnot. So shout out to Giancarlo, and yeah, let's just get right into it. So yeah, oh, you don't see that. You see the leader. Oh, and hold up. Give me boom. Alright, and leader, take two. Alright. So, gosh, been a hot sec since I've done one of these. Alright, let's talk about the leader. So, permanent. During your turn, if you have a skills battle card and play, this card gains 5k power. Auto, when this card attacks, draw one, then up to one card from your life to your hand. Awaken when your life's at 4 or less, you may draw 2 cards and flip this card over, like we will do now. Alright, then we have the backside. Activate main once per turn, draw one, then play up to one yellow skills battle card with an energy cost of 1 from your drop. Activate battle when there is when this card is in battle, there's a monster card in your combo area, you gotta draw one. So inherently, the leader doesn't seem like it does anything too special, except it just draws a lot of cards. We basically use this backside effect to draw 2 cards per turn, and on your opponent's turn you can have like a 5k combo power that replaces itself. So it just out advantages your opponent, and that's the entire premise of this deck. We don't do too much else with the skill list. Sometimes we'll be able to utilize the permanent on this side, but most of the time we don't. Mainly, this deck is just there to be able to out advantage the opponent. Now, let's get straight into, I guess, the skillless part of the deck, which is we run 4 skillless. So all these guys are the exact same. They have different set numbers, but they're just a 10k skillless high dragon card, Earthling monster. So this is the card we use. So as you can see on screen, 10k 1 cost, high dragon, Earthling monster. You occasionally swing with this early, but most of the time this is just there for combo. So on this side, if you got it out, your leader will be get 5 extra k on your turn. But the main reason is you go activate main, draw 1, play this from the drop, and then swing with your leader, combo, activate battle, draw 1. So that's draw 2 a turn, and you get 5k. This is a 20k leader swing. On your opponent's turn, you can combo one of these to get out of 15k attack from your hand. It's there to out advantage. You can quite easily play a 5th high dragon just to get more consistency, more defense in your hand. But this is what we've got going for now. Then to go with our skillless, we have 2 Son Goku and Vegeta Saiyan Silent Unison. This card is absolute gas. It is legitimately one of the better cards. Honestly, I'm going to be saying this about half the cards in this deck, but this is one of the better cards in the deck. So +1, choose this card, and all of your skills battle cards, they gain 5k power for the turn. That part of the card is surprisingly clutch. It comes in a lot more often than you would think. Activate main -1. Play up to 2 skills battle cards with an energy cost of 1 from your deck or drop area, and shuffle your deck if you look through it. This -1, once again, comes in very often. So a lot of the times, if I see this early, my turn 1 play is a tap 1 for Saiyan Silence, swing that -1, guarantee myself 2 skillless on the board, and get that out real early. Being able to do this basically just allows me to see my consistency, see my draw engine, and then against some decks where you want to like force them to awaken early, or just run beat them down, you can swing with one of the skillless if you want. But a lot of the time your opponent will then just swing to the skillless, so you'll have one more life, which is good in some matchups, bad in others if you're trying to awaken on a certain turn. But that is that boy. And then the last unison we do run in this deck is the Trunks, SS Trunks Ultra in the Future. Once again, this is one of the best cards in the deck. Initially, when I first started playing this deck, I thought this was a card that I honestly just wanted to cut. I didn't think it did much. I thought it was just there for the -3. But the more you play with this card, just playing this for 3 on like turn 4 with a repose in hand to defend this, and then your opponent not being able to clear this, the amount of value that this Trunks is going to bring up is absolutely like unheard of. It's so ridiculous. So activate main, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, and switch it to rest if that card has an energy cost 4 or less, negate skills and KO it. That comes up a little bit. Switch blockers to rest. You can just get rid of pesky stuff. Nothing too fancy. The activate main, -3, draw 1, then choose all your opponent's battle cards in rest mode and KO 'em. That comes up a fair bit against decks that like to go wide. You're just able to clear their board whenever you want by killing your Unison. But it's a 3-cost 20k dual attack, which gets around repose. So in the mirror, this is like your biggest, this is like one of your best cards. A lot of things interact with battle cards at the moment. So having a dual attack Unison also means when you're trying to go in for game, you can swing 20k, they can negate it, you restand, and you can swing 20k again. So they can't like get out two attacks. So that's like basically guarantees your chance for a chumper to finish the game off. Once again, Trunk's one of the best cards in the deck. Moving on to more best cards in the deck, we have Turles. So going into this format and this event in general, yellow has always been lacking board removal. It's always been great at resting stuff, but it never was the best at actually clearing your opponent's board. Turles, however, changed this. So it's double strike. When this card is played, choose one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode, KO it. Then you can choose one. You either can draw one or choose another one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode and KO it. So, and then you got to activate main, where if your leader is mono yellow Sane and you have 3 more energy, you can play this card from your hand. So comes in very, very often. You can either KO 2, KO 1 in rest, and draw 1. I don't know what else to say about this card. It's like your turn 3 play, your turn 4 play, your turn 5 play. Whatever turn you're on past turn 3, you just use it to clear annoying things on your opponent's board, and then able to pressure Unisons amazingly well and pressure leader. It's basically just replace Raiders Warcry in yellow decks, as it's just such a versatile card. Raiders Warcry is always going to have a special spot in my heart because I absolutely love that card. It's my favorite card in the game, but Turles just is such just a generically good card. Then moving on to more cards in my hand. This is the new art coming out in the archive booster, but it is the SS3 Son Goku The Last Draw. Choose one card in your life, add it to your hand. When this card attacks, it gains 10k power and double strike. Now, Self-Awakeners are a thing you don't really see in decks too often, but I really do rate it in Icarus. It allows you to pressure your opponent's leader, putting them for 5-3, which is like a really important thing to do in this game, as well as just being able to I don't know, if someone leaves you on 6, you're able to take a life, go to 5, and then still swing with your leader to go down to 4 and awaken on any given turn that you really want to. It's just generically, it allows you to just be a lot more flexible with the deck. Self-Awakeners really come in. The amount of times I've awakened with Self-Awakener, or even if I'm on 5 life, just still play this, swing 15k double into my opponent's leader, taking that life, like using a super combo, putting them from 5 to 3, and then on my leader swing, just go swing, not taking a life and awaken. It just gives you a lot more flexibility in a deck that doesn't have a lot of early pressure. One thing you've probably noticed so far is you haven't seen a slug. That's because you're not gonna see slugs. We don't run slugs. Instead, this is very similar to, I guess, what you would call the black and yellow PPG FOE build. Because I guess John Carlo helped me out a lot with this, and his PPG FOE, where it runs a lot more early pressure with the Self-Awakeners and the Scion Unison, which really helps. And then we have Basil. Basil is ridiculously good card. Nothing else you can say about Basil. When this card is played, or to draw 1, activate main once per turn. If your opponent has 5 more cards in rest, this card gains 15k power and dual attack until the start of your next main phase. 5 more cards in rest is surprisingly difficult with this deck, considering a lot of times when people play Repose, they don't want to tap out because they know how much pressure your deck can just like randomly bring out offensively. So they will they'll just pass turn with like 2 things in rest mode after Repose, in which case your Basil's not really active. But when Basil is active, for 1 energy, you're drawing 2 swings, which is 2 cards out of your opponent's hand, or they're taking life. And it's just an insane amount of value. We really like Basil in the deck. Also great for checking Unisons. A lot of things you'll notice about this deck is just a lot of the cards in the deck are just amazing at checking Unisons. And then just quickly, my spicy tech of the day was Vegeta striving to be the best. Once again, we have the Collector's Album art in front of us. Auto, when you play this card, you can choose one of your opponent's battle cards with Barrier in rest mode, ignoring Barrier, and KO it. If you KO'd card, choose one of your energy and switch it to active mode. Now, it's a lot, but basically you tap 2, untap 1, carry something in rest, ignore. So tap 2, carry something in rest with Barrier, ignoring Barrier, and then untap one. This is here for the mirror to kill opponent slugs. That is it. That is all. That's the only reason we run this. I will embarrassingly say, if your opponent plays a waste, please don't untap. I untapped in my top 4 game and it did lose me game 1 because I just have like one less. My opponent went first and I had one less energy, and I was just screwed from that point on. Like, nothing else I can do about that. So please don't be as dumb as me. Like, that was just like the most embarrassing thing that could happen. I was on stream as well. I haven't watched the stream. Really don't want to see what was in chat. Not looking forward to going back and seeing that. But just insane cards. Honestly, love them. Next we have our counter coolers. So if you lead a card yellow and negate the counter and play this card, it's basically just battering. And then when you play it, you draw cards, 15k beta. Nothing else too fancy with counter cooler. Then we have our other spicy text, Bardock, Father and Son. This came in clutch one game, but it really just didn't need to be in the deck. The main reason I had it in the deck was to help clear unisons, I suppose, as like just like a play it and swing. But mainly for something I could just like play to trigger Bergamo. I didn't trigger Bergamo like once per game, man. Honestly, you could take these 2 cards out of the deck and like it's not even gonna matter. Bergamo is such just a good effect, but the way the format is, your opponent's either like passing with like 1 energy open, in which case Bergamo, you just like early game they'll pass with like 1 energy open and Bergamo's just not doing anything, or late game they'll pass with like 3 energy open because you're opposed to them and they've got nothing else to do. So Bergamo just feels bad in a lot of situations, but we've got the sneaky winner stamp, so we keep him in. That's basically it with Bergamo. Sorry, Bergamo then. And then we're going into our extra cards. So we got Riposte. Riposte is like another best card in deck. It's a 1 energy floodgate, so your opponent can still like get multiple attacks through. So it's not like nowhere near as big of a floodgate as Topo, or stuff like that. But it makes your opponent like expend more resources to attack. So like if you're pros, they probably only get like 2 or 3 more attacks off throughout the turn, which is like perfectly fine. But it's also a 15k beta on the return, and it costs 1 energy, doesn't force you to discard. It's just ridiculously strong. So for those who don't know, negate the attack, play the card permanent if your leader is yellow and your opponent has 2 or more energy. Reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1 for each yellow extra card in your energy and drop. This was made for Mecha Freezer archetype, but that got banned. When you play this card from your hand, each time your opponent will attack on the non-unison, this turn they must choose one of their cards inactive and switch it to rest. Next we have Steadfast Assistant. Basically the exact same permanent, except not the energy cost in general, just when activating the counter skill. And it also includes extra cards in your battle area. When this card is played, the battle card being played is played in rest mode, and then this card is played and draw 1 card. And it's a 5k blocker. This card is gas, so much like good defense with Steadfast Assistance. Moving on to our extra cards. So those are just the cards that we play off the extra cards. We have 4 Power Super Saiyan. Cards ridiculous. Activate battle. So permanent, if you have 1 or more mono yellow energy in active mode, you can activate these cards to activate battle skill from your hand without paying its energy cost. Activate battle, if your leader is mono yellow, draw 1, untap 1, choose 1 of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode, and choose 1 of your opponent's battle cards or unison, switch it to rest. It replaces itself with Avalanche. It's in the gate, right? Because it just stops an attack. 3 Frames Armors Reinforcement. Ideally, you want to use 2 of these from like 4 life down 2. You want to use 2 of these. Like I think 4 to 3, you probably want to take it. It's just such a good negate. These blocking negates are just really good. I initially didn't like them. I thought they were just always bad, but they came in clutch. Nimbus, man. I have a love-hate relationship with this card. I thought it was going to be so good because it gets around Koitsukai, and I didn't listen to Trey Faircloth. I watched his video. He said every time he activated Nimbus, that turn he lost. The one time, I think in the entire day, I activated Nimbus. Actually, I think I activated twice, and both times I did actually lose on that turn as well. It seems really good in theory, but it's just not good in practice. I'm going to be completely honest. Generally, you'd just be better to, like, I don't know. Surely yellow has to have some better extra card. I don't know. Nimbus isn't it. Nimbus isn't your answer to Koitsukai. For those that don't know, the only reason Nimbus is in there is because Koitsukai. Nimbus isn't your answer to Koitsukai. But we'll definitely figure out something that's better to answer Koitsukai. And then we have 3 Vegeta Final Flash, which is our last one. Vegeta Final Flash. Once again, I didn't use Vegeta's Final Flash as much as I should have. Maybe that's me misplaying, because I definitely made some misjudgments throughout the day. But activate battle, gains 15k combo power for 1 energy, which is really good. Auto, if all your energy is yellow, when you activate this card, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and negate its skills for the turn. So this is, once again, in the mirror, this is how you deal with Slug on your opponent's turn, and then to deal with Slug on your turn, you simply want to kill it with the Vegeta. Moving on to our final extra card, we have one Tyrannical Blow. This was meant to be basically for the mirror, and just like Android 16, if I see the one of, but this could have been taken out of the deck. Just ignore, pretend that card's not there, we take it out of the deck. It answers a post in the mirror for one energy instead of having to, but Koitsukai is just better, because then you would actually prefer them to have to think about like reposting through a through a Koitsukai, because then they have to drop 2 cards and you still like swing twice with Unison instead of having to pay 1 for this. So Koitsukai is just a better card. We have 4 Krillin moments for combat, best super combo. If you last at 4 or less, against 10k, bottom deck 1, draw 2. 2 Chumper. We ran 2 Chumper, so we had consistency of seeing it. So you could use 1 early to like, if you were swinging with like a 20k with your Unison, you could dump a Chumper, super combo, and go to 40. So they have to get rid of like a bunch of cards in hand to deal with it, and then you still have a Chumper to finish the game off late, which is just so much value. Running 2 Chumper is definitely worth it. Whis. This card sucks. Soul Striker sucks. Auto, when you play it, draw 1. When your opponent switches their energy to act mode and using a non-awakened skill during their turn, choose up to 1 of your opponent's energy and place it in this owner's drop. Look, in theory, it's a good card. It can do a fair bit against decks like Helku that don't actually awaken. It's like they've got like a weird auto that awakens them. This hits. If you have this out, this will hit their awaken. They're like pseudo awaken, and you can just kind of screw them over that way, which is kind of funny. And like most people won't realize, but it's not very good. It's a great card, but I don't know. Soul Striker just wasn't played. I think people were too afraid of it or something, but Soul Striker just wasn't played. I never played against Soul Striker. 2 Poutine. Poutine is an insane card. I would very much consider like upping it to this to 3, because like if you get a Poutine out in the field, you're just in like such a better spot for the rest of the game. I love Poutine so much. Basically, if your lead is yellow, when an opponent's card switches to rest mode by one of your skills, you get to play Poutine. And then when your opponent plays a battle card using a skill or activates a counter skill, choose one of your opponent's battle cards and switch it to rest mode. We love Poutine. Next, we have 1 Koitsukai Mechanical Courage. So keen to get these new alt arts for it. Activate main for 1. Move this card in your drop from the game. Then choose 2 cards in your hand. Place them on the bottom deck in any order. Draw cards equal to the number of cards you place at the bottom deck for the turn. For the turn, if your opponent plays a battle card with 20k power or less, they choose 2 cards in their hand and send them to the warp. This just helps you out advantage decks, like you can use it against Mecha Frieza if they're opposed, they have to warp to, as well as you being able to like still swing with Unisons and stuff like that. We do love our opposed. 1 Max Power Kamehameha. This is the Giancarlo special. Sometimes the negate comes in where you can like negate, add it back to your hand, but then it's still just like another dead card in your hand. Because it doesn't have combo power. If it had combo power, this card would be like 10 times better. Activate main, choose one of your opponent's battle cards that energy cost greater than their current energy, send to the owner's warp. Also, if this was chargeable, it's not chargeable because we need to charge all mono yellow, it'd be a lot better. It's a cardable card, but it's good to just deal with secret res. 2 Secret Identity. I was initially running 1 Secret Identity and 1 Fighting Against Fate, but I just like the extra removal. When this card is played using Overwhelm, choose any number of your opponent's battle cards that add up to a total energy cost of 6 or less and send them to your owner's warp. Finally, we have the Panzino Secret Rare. Sorry for the really blurry image. There's just not a good high quality scan of this. Counterattack. If you have 3 more energy, play this card. Your opponent can't attack with battle cards for the turn. You can't activate the counter skills on copy this card for the game. Permanent for each battle card in play. Reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 2. Activate main for 1. Remove this card from game. Choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and gain control of it. Pan's just really good. There's nothing else I have to say about Pan. I think it's just the best SCR for the deck because it's just the most energy efficient. I will go over stuff later on a separate video, just a bit more detail talking about matchups. But for now, we're just trying to pump out the deck profile for you. We have 3 Sun Gohan Trusted Ally. This is for Cell Surge. When it's played, draw 1. When this card is discarded from your hand by opponent's skill, play it from the drop. So just for Cell Surge. 3 Deborahs. Similarly, just for Cell Surge. Same order, but you pay 1 for it. And then second order is when this is played, draw 2. Then we have 2 Sun Gohan and Videl power couple. Activate main if your leader is yellow. Place a card from your hand and draw 1. Then choose 2 of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and they get neg 5 for the turn. This kills Poutines, this kills BMS, this kills Son Goku True Fighting Spirits. It's just a really, really clutch card. Kills pianos, kills just like Sun Gohans and U7 draw engine decks. It's just a really clutch card that just comes in so much. That's a spicy tech. It's an automatic 12 in like any yellow sideboard. We've got one more last draw to side in against really slow decks and stuff. I really want to like awaken and pressure early. Happy with that. 2 Vegeta units and a Fury. I could have won my winning in for finals if I played this a turn later. I completely fucked up. I didn't have enough defense for it. Activate main once per turn. Choose this card of one of your battle cards, switch to rest, add 1 mark to this card. Activate main. Your opponent can't attack with battle cards that energy cost greater than their current energy until the end of the next turn. Activate main -3. Choose one of your opponent's energy. Switch it to rest mode. This card gains 5k power, double strike, and dual attack. You mainly use it for that first activate main. The second one can come in like very clutch sometimes. But the main reason we run this is just that -1 is great against stuff like Gogeta Xeno, Shenron, and they just basically just can't like attack into you and out advantage you. This is like even 10 times better when you go first. Unfortunately, in my top cut run, because I was seeded 6th, I played against 3rd place. I won that, and then I played against 2nd place, lost that, but they went first, and I played against 5th place, and they went first as well. So I just never got to go first in top cut on game 1, which really did end up hurting. Next we have 1 extra Trunks Unison, great in mirrors, great in just anything that like battle cards aren't the most reliable in. We just cited that in for those type of matchups. 1 Android 1718. This was mainly to kill like Boo Unison based decks, and any Unisons I didn't really like that. It's a great card. This ended up winning me an SS4 matchup, as well as it was mainly there for like Android 16, which just had like a bunch of wide blockers, but didn't play against any Android 16. We have our second Koitsukai in the side. Love Koitsukai. Such a great card. Probably should be removed. Like probably shouldn't be a card, to be honest. Because there's like no counterplay to Koitsukai, but I guess Koitsukai is like a counterplay to counterplays. I don't really know how I feel about Koitsukai in terms of it, but I love playing it. I hate when it's played against me. And finally, have a Fu Shrouded. Fu Shrouded won me my top 8 game 2. So like on game 2, I Koitsukai him on turn 3, Koitsukai him on turn 4, Koitsukai him on turn 5, Fu Shrouded on turn 6. It's Overwhelm 6, double strike. When you play this card using Overwhelm, your opponent can't activate skills on cards other than the leader until the beginning of the next turn. So this just end games, like no super combos, nothing like that. But anyway, thanks so much, you guys, for watching my video. Hope you enjoyed. Sorry this was a bit rushed. I'm quite tired. Want to go to bed, but I just thought I'd want to get this out for you as quickly as I possibly could. But anyway, hope you have a good night. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought of the video, and I will be bringing more deck profiles from this Nationals very shortly. Anyway, have a good one, guys. Bye.